So way back when, about over 8 months ago as of this video, I actually made a law deck, and it was catered to beginners. And what's interesting is that I had some tech choices in that one, and I think it was pretty good for beginners in general. I also said that law pretty much is my favorite deck, slash at least favorite deck to play, because you know, when playing the deck, it is actually pretty fun to find the combos and to do a lot of things and swing a bunch of times for no reason. Now the issue with law to me is a little bit of, I don't know, too consistent. I don't know, man, maybe not that, but I think it can be boring just to see the same deck list, or at least the same cards, which is kind of a bummer because it is a red-green leader, and the fact that there's a lot of cool, you know, 5 costs or less that you can mess around with in the leader. And that kind of got me thinking of what could be used in the future, or at least like right now in OP03. And that led me to some of the Whitebeard Pirates cards, like Marco, which is of course a really good card. The 4 cost Marco, the 5 cost and the 4 cost, both of them are really good. And as well as just the Whitebeards in general, since we have access to 2 cost blockers, some of the other cool things like Thatch and things like that. Now where I'm getting at is that if you're playing OP03, or if you're playing Law in OP03, you're gonna have a pretty good time as long as you're a pretty good pilot. And I think you can go pretty far, at least up into the top 16, if you don't run into either bad luck or just summon high rolling out of you. Like if you get 10 drop mommed a bunch of times, sometimes those blockers aren't going to be enough. Or if Whitebeard counters out of something like 14,000 for your last swing, which has both happened to me in testing, then yeah, maybe you'll have a difficult time. But for me, I've actually created 2 different deck lists of law. One that is the quote-unquote boring law, one that I suggest for you to start out with if you're going in OP03 and then you just want to play law just in a standard way. And then the second one is going to be based on Whitebeard Pirates, and I think this one's actually pretty fun. I've had a lot of fun building it and adding, subtracting things and things like that. Before we get into the decks and as well as the gameplay, definitely go ahead and subscribe if you're new. I have a bunch of decks, just random stuff, and as well as gameplay coming up for One Piece, and as well as follow me on Twitch in the description below, or on my face, depending if I forget or not. That way you can actually see gameplay live. Let's first take a look at the quote-unquote boring law, right? So it's the stuff that you kind of already know, and the things that hasn't really changed since OP02. It's pretty much the same list, slash it just depends on what your preferences are, right? We have the Otamas, since we are playing the jet pistols. Even without jet pistol, Otama is still pretty good. You play it for 1, you swing it to something that's 2k or less, or gets lessened by 2k minus 2k, and then it's just easier to swing into things, or just to remove them. I don't play Vista in this one, but we do play it in the other list, I do believe. We'll take a look at that in a second. But we do have the Dan for probably the best turn to play. You can play 2 of the 1 cost, but if you already have those in hand, you may as well just play Dan and then just get another 1 cost into your hand, with the Otama, Nami, and as well as Chopper being the best targets for that, or the only targets. And then Nami just helps search out for those jet pistols, radical beams. Now the kind of tech, in my opinion, I like the Zoro card. I like the starter deck Zoro. It's so easy just to get it to 7 with 1 Don. You can play it off the Law. It is another target for Nami. It is a target for Law, like I said. And then you can restand it with the starter deck Law, which is just really good. Same thing with the starter deck Luffy. It just gets around those annoying 4 cost Marcos and just blockers in general. So if you're going in against the mirror, or if you're going against something red, or really anything, like Luffy just kind of pushes through that, and you can play it for 2 for using the leader effect. Of course, if you have 5 on board, you can pay 2, return it to hand, and then play a 5 cost or less of a different color. So that's the other part of this deck, and you just have to make sure that you are good to go on the balance of red and green. You don't want to have too much green in your hand, you don't want too much red in your hand. It's happened before for me, and I don't want that to happen to you. All right, let's take a look at the fun deck list. So the reason why I did this, I said it before, the reason why I did this is because of some of the Whitebeard pirates targets. So like Aruda, which I played the 1-cost Nami that does the same thing, but now, you know, it's a 2-cost, so you can put 200 in and swing for 5 if you really wanted to, but it is a Whitebeard target, which is searchable by Izu, and it's just cool that way. But that was one of the reasons. Another reason is the Fossa, which is a 2-cost blocker. You know, it's just reminiscent of the killer, just in red. So if you want to play more green stuff, like the Laws, or if you need more targets for that, then you do have them. And then we do have Thatch. I like Thatch quite a lot. The reason why is because the idea was to use Makino in order to boost Thatch, have the 2 out, and then swing with him for the extra activate main. So it's the Makino, this, and then maybe even Dawn or whatever you want to do to swing for 5 to 7 to whatever. And then before the activate main takes control to place it at the end of the turn in the trash, you can just swap it out for a Law or for the starter deck Law. That's pretty much what the idea was for this deck. Obviously that is just like, you know, standard for Law, but it really just also comes down to just playing something different, right? You play the Marcos at 4, just so you can switch out the Ruge or the Bonnies, whatever it may be, to pop something 3 or less. If you have room, or if you can find the room for Otama, then you can just pop stuff that is 5k or less instead of this 3 or less. It does help against Zoro. It does help against Yellow when they play Brûlé, so that way you can pop their blockers and things like that. So there's some use cases for it. Plus it is a nice little 6k attacker that you can use any of the event cards that you have, either the Whitebeard Pirates that keeps you consistent to find some of this stuff here, Fire Doll, which I'll get to in a second, and as well as Punk Gibson, because Marco says that you can use any event card. It doesn't have to be a red event card. And then, yeah, I mean, overall, the Marcos is usually played for 4, but if you really don't have any other targets to play, like the Marco or the Zoro, then you're just going to be playing 2 using your leader effect, just to have another blocker that is hard to get rid of, because you're going to have the Whitebeard Pirates in your hand, and you're going to be at 2 or less, because the first 2 swings you probably want to take anyway. We still have the Zoro to play off the Law, and we still have a few other things like Vista to play off of it as well. Ruge is cool because you end up having 3 or more characters anyway, so you end up having a 6k attacker, you get to 7 pretty easily as well. And then now the Fire Doll is because of the awkward requirements of the 3k or less, 3k or less, and whatever it may be. Fire Doll kind of helps you get rid of the bigger bodies, just using 2 Dawn up to like 2 or 3 or 4 more Dawn. You easily get to 10 to 11k, so you can swing out into an 8k pretty easily and make it difficult for them, and things like that. I wish the Law restood your leader, but obviously that would be a little broken. But overall, pretty fun deck. I'm going to show some gameplay for both the boring and as well as the fun. All right, first up is going to be the normal / boring kind of Law that I was talking about before. This is against Severin, which I don't think that's the GBS 7, but it could be wrong. Either way, this is a pretty good match. I think after this, he switched to Zoro and beat my ass, but this was a good match in general. And I got to choose to go second, which again, against any black deck, you probably want to do anyway. I did pull the Dadan instead of playing the Nami and the Chopper that I would do if I didn't have those. And this is what I was saying before, like the Dadan makes it easier for you to have a turn 2 play, because if they do end up KOing something on 3 Dawn, then let them use that for something that is 2 instead of getting rid of 2 bodies. That's kind of my philosophy for that. Plus, I'd rather get another 1 cost, which is just easier to play, instead of just whiffing on the Bonnie or whiffing on the Nami and just keeping them vulnerable, that type of thing. So he's gonna swing 6 here. I have a philosophy of just taking the first 2 attacks just to have the cards in hand. I have a pretty good hand, like I said. It's just deciding what I want to do. I play both the Namis and I just grab the second Zoro here, and then just now I have 5 of the boys and girls, I guess, and which is a good start, kind of. It just depends against black. Black can get rid of targets pretty easily, but I don't know if they can get rid of a bunch of targets. Like it's just really, it really depended on if they play the, like in the future, if they play the new Shanks, I think, or the, I'm pretty sure it's the Shanks that KOs everything. So what I did here was play the Otama. I have no green in hand, which feels terrible. I don't know how to tell you, but it feels terrible. Plus I see all the green upcoming here and I have no Bonnie. He killed the only green card that I had, which felt terrible. I don't know how much I don't know how many times I can say that. But that is one thing that I have been discovering about Law, where, you know, that the philosophy of just holding the things that you need until you play it. So if I had to do it again, I would just play literally anything else other than the Bonnie. Just hold the Bonnie, and then the time that I do need it, because again, if they are gonna KO something, just let them KO it. Just play the Bonnie, pay the 2, and then go from there. Because if I did do that, then I would have had the Law in my hand, and then the Law enables me to bounce the Otama, get back the Nami, play out the Zoro, and swing, and then I have better momentum. So that is just something to keep in mind. He's gonna go ahead and pop one of my cards here. I get rid of the Brook, and then he's gonna get rid of the Zoro. This is where it kind of gets annoying going against black, because they just keep removing stuff. It's like, please stop. That's all I can ask for. I just don't want you to do that anymore. My hand is not the greatest, but I do draw into a Bonnie, so I got lucky there. Just doing the Dawn math here, kind of annoying, because I think I am off by 1. I was thinking of swinging with a Dadan, but I think just swinging with the leader and seeing if he wants to do that first is a bit better. So what I did here is just use the 5 for Law and then just play out the Bonnie. So now I have 5 characters, which kind of killed the theory that I was saying before, where I should have just held the Bonnie, because if he plays another Kobe, he's probably just gonna pop the Bonnie instead. So he's gonna play the Sakazuki to pop my Law. Not looking too hot from our hero. He's gonna swing into the Zoro, which in general I think this is probably fine to take, just because he's gonna just use a smoker ability and then just go 7 for it, possibly 8. He could keep the 2 up for impact or shockwave, so I think that's what he's gonna do. He's gonna go ahead and just keep that up. I go down to 1. He's at 3. Not too big of a deal. He did not use that. He just didn't do the thing that I said he was gonna do. I was gonna be greedy here, but I was like, wait, I need enough. I don't know if I have enough. So I ended up being greedy. So what I did was just play out the Law, get back the Bonnie, play out the Law again, and then get back the Brook. So that way I have 2 underneath the Art Zoro, which I was like, let me just swing face. I have 2 blockers. He's gonna have to play another Sakazuki. I can block the other Sakazuki and then maybe take 1. But really it is more important because he wasted the card. So I was like, okay, why not just swing there? I'm not gonna give him another card, not just yet. He's playing the brand new, probably trying to find something better to play here. No Borsalinos just yet, which is kind of the bane of existence when it comes down to black versus or using Law versus black. He drew the impact wave, so we know that he has it. And then let's see what else you can come up with. So he places 1 underneath the Sakazuki, which is a little weird, but I think he went 8 because of the laws. So he just wanted to make sure to get that Zoro out the way. My hand is not too bad. I got 2 2Ks and then 2 Bonnies, which of course I'm going to keep at least 1 Bonnie for the next turn. I have the Luffy, so if he does play a Borsalino, I can at least swing through it. And then he just has these 2 boys here. which isn't, you know, super threatening. I'm very tempted to just to keep this, or to take this. I mean, because like he only has 2, he's gonna keep 1 for impact wave, so I know that one of these guys is gonna leave or get got. I think, you know, looking at this play or looking at this right now, I could swing 5 with one of the Brooks or the Danan. I think that's what I'm gonna do. Yeah, I think that's what I'm gonna do, because then he only has 1 target for the impact wave instead, or he has to take 1 card out of a hand, which means I can swing again with the Brook and not really feel too bad about it. But kind of took the bait. I'm gonna swing here for, I think 7's fine, right? But I think I go 8 to ensure it. Yeah, I think I go 8 to ensure it. Oh no, I go 7. Yeah, 7's fine. I don't really mind swinging with the laws either, but being at 0 feels kind of weird. And I think I wanted a 1 extra in order to be okay with I think I misplayed here. Yeah, I think I misplayed here. I misclicked. Oh no, I misclicked. That's fine. That's fine. That's fine. I have 4 blockers. I have the Otama. He has his smoker effect, which is annoying. Him playing a Kuzan might be a little annoying, because then you can pop one of my my laws, I believe, or something like one of my blockers. But he has to go pretty hard, I think, here. I don't really mind. He pops one of my blockers, which is kind of annoying. I think I can probably, yeah, block and then just use a 2k. That way I don't have to use 2 cards in my hand or one of the blockers. And then if you swing 7 again, I just block with a beige or just combo out of it or counter out of it. Yeah, so he swings 8 for that. I think I just block. The most he can go is 7, which he doesn't. He just goes for another draw. Hopefully we see, yeah, I think we want the starter deck. No, why did I take that? Why did I take that past Brian? That's fine. We'll take the easy 3. I think what I was trying to do is probably bounce the Otama. I think, yeah, I think we bounce the Otama, get back the Bonnie, play the Zoro. And I was thinking of just using the Mariner too, not to put on the Zoro, but just to have it for that. But I was like, nah, I'll just jet pistol it. 3 long blockers, 2 attacks, which means at most he can probably pop one of these guys, unless he went ahead and reduce costs, but then it's gonna cost more. And again, I have quite a lot in hand, so I think I'm just gonna get rid of one of my laws for the 9k swing. A bit awkward numbers that he's throwing out here. 4 has 6 left, so he could Sakazuki one of my laws. That would actually kind of hurt. So he plays out 2 of the Fukurus, which is mad annoying. I gotta tell you, it's really quite annoying. Only target here is the Zoro, which is fine, I suppose. I think we just swing. No. Yeah, we swing 5 first. Okay, we're swinging 7. Fine. There's a world here that I could still win. It just depends on how much he can, how much he does take. That's the issue. If he takes a lot here, then we just use the Luffy and put everything under it. But it doesn't look like that's the case. I was just deciding what I really want to do. I'm actually not sure why I kept that Dawn open. I think I should have just went 7. But it doesn't matter, because like it's still the same sort of thing. And Shockwave, Impact Wave, whatever, KOs my Zoro, which is annoying. So now it really comes down to how much counter power do I have against his smaller targets. And if he is going to be doing this, or is going to be swinging with these guys, that means he doesn't have much defense after this turn. This is going to be an easy one, because I'm just going to get rid of the Brook. He could be doing or thinking of a Radical Beam for me, and he's just swinging 6s, and he ended up just conceding. So I think that was a kind of a weird match, kind of a little of an awkward match, but I think it was a pretty good showcase of like some of the stuff that Black has against Law. Like Borzolino, very much annoying. You kind of have to play into your 5-drop Luffy's. The Fukuru's also kind of annoying because you just can't really do anything about it. You just have to swing and just hope for the best. And the Sakizukis are still a problem, right? That's still an annoyance in which Law has to deal with pretty much every single time. So yeah, very interesting match. A little awkward, but that's okay. All right, so we're gonna go into some of the Whitebeard version of Law. I ended up keeping this hand, and I'm going first. So we're gonna play out the Izu and just bottom deck the rest of these guys. Didn't really want to play the Whitebeard Pirates event card because it's not really much of a use for it. Just kind of scoping my hand, playing out the beige, and then grabbing the 2K from the event card instead. He plays out the Kuzan, which is fine. I'm not playing Jetpason, I believe, in this build, or at least the one that we're looking at right now. I think Bonnie probably is the best thing here. I went ahead and swung with the leader instead first, because against Rob Lucci, it's a little difficult to maintain everything on board, because sometimes they just pitch the 2. They ended up swinging into your Bonnie, pitch the 2, and then swing again, you know, if you save it or if you block it, you know. And I think that's where it gets a little difficult against Rob Lucci as Law. He did pitch 2 of his boys, 2 of his 1-cost counters. I don't think that's really worth it. Fiery Doll is also pretty useful for his trigger effect, just nullifying this swing here, which is nice. So just deciding what we want to do here. I think it is kind of awkward when it comes down to the Dawn count. So just deciding what I want to do here. I think swing with the Zoro is probably fine. I think we can grab back the Izu, play him again, and then kind of go from there. I think the Zoro is fine to swing with, to be honest, but swinging 7 here just to do some damage. He is going to take this, I already know. If he doesn't take it, then that's kind of an L on his part. But we do have 2 blockers here trying to, you know, stabilize just a little bit. I think the cards that I have in hand, especially not having any any green on board, or in hand I should say, getting issued here also feels bad. So a couple things to consider just to keep aware of your hand count, that is for sure. 2K out of my hand, and as well as another target, but we do have a 2 costs to play in case I wanted to swap out of it. We're going to use the Zoro to swing into Kuzan, and then one more time into Kuzan. I think just swinging into his board probably is best here. 8K, I think I restand and I just swing into it again, because Ishu really just, I mean, he can technically take game if he pops my Fossa, but I don't think that's gonna happen. There's a 12, so we get rid of that. Again, the other part of it is that he can just restand. I'm not gonna pitch 2 cards. He's gonna restand here and then maybe swing with my Law. No, he's just gonna swing right into my face. 3 damage to do. Kind of annoying. We can play some of these Marcos as well. I think playing a Marco and then swapping Shambles, whatever you want to call it, into good old Law to bounce it into our 2-drop might be okay, but I think putting him down to 1 is smart to get another Law and then just ping him for another card out of hand. So that's not too bad. We have 3 blockers. Best thing he can do is Sakazuki and then just swing and then just, you know, use a Rob Lucci effect. But he would have 4 to the 4 cards in my hand. So that would be a 9k swing. Here's an 8. We're okay with just getting rid of the Marco. He does use his ability, which is important to know. Definitely go ahead and get rid of the other law. And he just disconnects. With more law, he couldn't really do anything with the issue. He's just going to swing. The law blocks it, and then I just swing twice with my Zoro leader, and as well as the other law. So makes sense. All right, next up is Big Mom. Here's my mulligan. I'm going second, and I draw into two of my boys, my laws. The Haruda comes out. I do take this one, get into a few different Bonnies, 2 different Bonnies. I probably could have played the Izu and then used the Rested Non to put on my leader, but it wasn't really that big of a deal. Interesting part of Big Mom slash yellow in general. I mean, the best way to get rid of the 1 costs are the Struzels. However you say it, the Struzel. And that's sort of our neg, right? They get rid of a 2k out of hand and then a card out of hand, so it doesn't feel great for them to do that. He does have double attack here because of the Prometheus, so I think what he's doing is swing with a 5. I think he could have just took that one, to be honest, but I forget if she needs a Dawn underneath. I'm pretty sure she does. Okay, so I'm just deciding what I want to do. I think we body first. I think we body first before doing it, but decided not to. Just deciding what I want to do. I have 3 targets, 2 fiery dolls here, not too useful. I know that I want to swing into that that Charlotte. We get another one of the beige, and we swing 7 into the Charlotte, and then we just shamble Izu into Bonnie into another beige. I don't know if I think I missed it. I'm pretty sure I missed using my Haruda again. So don't forget to use it. I don't know how many times I gotta say it, but he does play out the Pero. He's gonna swing 7. Probably get rid of one of my beiges. It's kind of an easy block there. Let's play the Izu. Get the Marco. That's gonna be good for some of the blockers he might play. And just making a decision here. This time I didn't forget. So we're gonna swing 7 right into the face. I have another law in my hand, which means I can play the Uruge, however you want to say it. But I ended up just using the Marco in order to pop the Prometheus. Just felt like it was a better play. I do have 1 open, which I think I just play a Bonnie on the Izu. You could do the Haruda, but or Hute, whatever you want to say it, however you want to say it. Use the he did go ahead and trash the life using Thunderbolt and pop my law, which is pretty annoying. I think I could just counter out of this. I don't think it's really that big of a deal to block. Here's another 7. Block there. That's probably fine. All right. 2 Bonnies on board. Got the starter deck. Let's not forget here. I think we swing 5s to see if he takes the bait, which he does, which means the 7 can go into his face. You know, that's something I whiffed here. That's a bad whiff. I gotta tell you, that is a bad whiff. I think we swing 5 just to see if we run into the Thunderbolt and the life. I think we can definitely play 2 laws if I really wanted to, which I think I do. Play Hurige and play the other law, grab the Bonnie. Or actually, sorry, play the other law and restand the Bonnie, which I often don't do. I mean, it just based on my hand, I didn't want to use the other law because I didn't have a good target for it other than Harude. And I also wanted to keep the other laws just so I can use the 2 costs in order to restand in and swing again. So he's just baiting me here. I think I take the bait to swing because I don't think he has anything in his hand. I think this build with the stage card. Doesn't really focus on the standard stuff, which, all right, that's cool. I mean, we're both kind of doing the same thing, right? So there's always that. I think we just swing 7s here and then, you know, kind of go from there. I think I'm trying to decide if I'm trying to remember if I ended up using my thing. I didn't, so we're just swinging 7 again. I think we swing 7 with the lead. Oh no, okay. So we can just use the leader effect, return the Urate, and then just swing 7 again. And then that's it. That's pretty much it. I mean, again, this is definitely a different build. And then their build was definitely focusing on more of the Prometheus and stage stuff, which is cool, but it is a little bit slow and it's not like super reliable. I think that's sort of the issue is for those. All right, I think that's pretty much it. So if you have any questions or your own like different build for Law, definitely let me know in the comments below. And of course, go ahead and follow me on Twitch if you want to see gameplay live. I'll see you in the next one.